Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're going to be testing out another beauty blender dupe, another makeup sponge if you will. Today we're going to be testing out this one from EcoTools. This is the Perfecting Blender Duo. I think it was Tati or Glam Life Guru here on YouTube that I heard talking about this. So as soon as I heard her say that it was like really comparable to the beauty blender, my little fingers went right onto the EcoTools website and picked this up. Now this is something that they do also sell at Ulta. EcoTools is a brand that's also sold at Ulta. And I wish I would have realized that so I could have gotten my point perks, but I was in such a hurry. I'm a very impulsive buyer. Once I seen it, I needed it. That's just how I am. So you can get this on the EcoTools website or on Ulta's website, and I'm pretty sure you could probably pick it up in stores at like Walgreens, Walmart, anywhere where EcoTools is sold. I know it's a pretty popular drugstore brush brand. I used to use EcoTools brushes like when I first started getting into makeup. They were the first makeup brushes I had ever used. So this was kind of nice to be able to try something from a brand that I used to use all the time before I bought like Sigma and Morphe brushes. So I'm really excited to try this out. These sponges look very interesting. You do get a bigger sponge and a smaller sponge. This does retail for $9.99 for 2 sponges, which I think is actually a pretty decent deal. About $5 a sponge. That's not too shabby. It says that it is best with liquid and cream makeup. You get 2 unique sponges. Use them wet or dry. Made with eco foam technology. It says on the top here, 50% better application than the leading prestige sponge, which I am so excited about. I'm gonna go ahead and read to you what the back of this little thing says right here. It says the Perfecting Blender Duo is designed in 2 sizes and densities to create a camera-ready look. The large base blender is soft and flexible to create light, buildable coverage, and the mini detail blender is firmer for more precise coverage. Look and live beautifully with the unique eco foam technology made of 70% plant-based material. So this is vegan and cruelty-free. It's latex-free. It's dermatologist tested. Unlock your true beauty. Use this sponge wet or dry. When using wet, squeeze excess water until damp. Apply makeup in a stippling or bouncing motion to blend the product onto the skin. And it's got this little rating on the back. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says number 5, heavy coverage. So this supposedly can make your coverage like insane. I'm really excited to dig into this. I'm gonna pull it out of the package, which I don't know how you get it out of the package. Like that, apparently. Oh, look at that! It comes with a little coupon. If you were buying this in store, rip off the front of it and say, I want to use this coupon. I don't know if that would work or not, but you can always try it. So this is what the 2 sponges look like right here. I love the colors of them. They are so cool. They do have some pretty intense slants. They're kind of like teardrops, almost like the NYX sponge, but they have slants on both sides. I'm really excited about this. Usually when I do these videos, I like to do one side with the actual beauty blender and one side with the sponge that we're testing out. But since there's 2, I think I'm gonna try them both out on the face and for concealer and stuff like that and just kind of compare the 2. These are what they kind of look like before we dampen them with some water. So I'm gonna go get these damp real quick and then we will see if they get any bigger. So this is what they look like once they have been moistened with a little bit of water. It's amazing. You can definitely tell the density difference. This sponge, the larger sponge, feels pretty identical to the beauty blender. This one I feel like definitely grew in size and it became very, very lightweight. This one on the other hand, it got a little bit bigger, but it's really dense. I don't know how I'm going to like this sponge. I feel like I'm gonna like this one a little bit more. This one is definitely meant for like under eye concealer and stuff like that, but I am gonna try it out on the right side of my face with my foundation, my under eye concealer, powder, much like I typically do when I'm trying out these videos, and then I will use this sponge for the left side of my face. So we're just gonna go ahead and get on into foundation application. I have already primed my face, and I think for foundation today, I'm gonna be taking my Wet n Wild foundation. I've been enjoying this lately. I think we're gonna start with the little sponge first. I think I'm gonna try the flat side right here. We're gonna try that side first. All right, so that is what it kind of looks like with the smaller sponge. Now this sponge is definitely a lot more dense like I had mentioned. It kind of reminds me of the Bronx color sponges that I used in my last Beauty Blender dupe video. It definitely blends the foundation out a lot better than those sponges, but it is pretty dense. This isn't something that I could see myself using for foundation. I do love this little like edge of it. It gets around the nose so perfectly. Like, I'm hoping that the big sponge gets around the nose that perfectly because this one gets around this nose so nicely and around the eyebrows. But for all over the face foundation wise, it's not my favorite. It is pretty dense and I like something that's a little bit more fluffy. So I think this sponge is going to be really, really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this side of my face with the larger sponge. Alright, so that is what the left side of my face looks like using the larger sponge. I really, really like the way this feels on the skin. It definitely feels a lot like the Beauty Blender. It's very lightweight. It feels like you're just rubbing like a nice soft pillow across your face. It feels so nice on the skin. I feel like it does absorb a little bit of extra product, more so than what the Beauty Blender does or even the NYX sponge that I've tried out. But I really, really like the way that this feels on the skin, and I love the way it gets around the nose. This little edge right here is just perfect. If you are somebody that has larger pores like I do around the nose and you're always trying to focus more product in that area, this is perfect. It gets around that nose so easily. I feel like it makes my foundation look nice and flawless and airbrushed. It doesn't look cakey or anything like that. The only thing that I do notice, like I said, is that I think it provides a little bit less coverage, so I would have to use more product because I feel like it does kind of absorb a little bit of it. But I think for like my Hourglass stick foundation, this would be amazing. I can't wait to try this with that foundation. So far between the two, I'm definitely liking the larger sponge, but we're gonna go ahead and move on to under eye concealer and see kind of how they compare. Alright, so that is my under eye concealer all done. Oh my gosh, I am loving this. This is so good. This blended out that under eye concealer like a dream. Like, this is gorgeous. I love this so much. I definitely would have to say that this sponge blended out a lot better underneath the eye than this sponge. I feel like this sponge is just a little bit too dense. I think it's great for packing on powder, but this one's a little bit difficult to kind of fold and really get into the smaller crevices of the eye. This one, even though it's larger, you can really kind of pinch it down. Like, look how tiny you can really pinch that to get it to where you want, especially like in the inner corner of the eye there. So far, this sponge is totally killing the game. I think this might be my favorite dupe that I've tried this far. Like, this is amazing. We're gonna go ahead and do the concealer down the center of my face. I think I'll use the larger sponge for like my forehead and then the smaller sponge for my chin and my nose. Alright, for the concealer, I actually think they both did a pretty decent job. I just am loving this sponge. This one's perfect for getting around the eyebrows. Again, you can really kind of smush it down to get in between the eyebrows. It's really great for getting around the eyebrows. If you're somebody that does your eyebrows like I do, I always do my eyebrows first. This sponge is actually pretty decent. This blended out the concealer on my chin so effortlessly. I applied it with the bottom of the sponge and it definitely provided a lot of coverage on the chin. So far, I'm really enjoying this. I'm definitely loving this sponge a lot more than this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face. When I get to carving out my contour, I will use both of these sponges. I will use this side for the right side and the bigger sponge for my left side. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I am back. My whole face is now complete. I definitely have to say this is probably one of the best Beauty Blender dupes that I have found. This big sponge right here is just absolutely fantastic. I do have to say that this sponge is nice, and if you're somebody that likes to use multiple sponges, a 2-pack would be perfect for you. I definitely feel like this applied powder really nicely. It blended out the concealer pretty nicely, especially on my chin here with the bottom part of the sponge, but I wouldn't say this is a sponge that I would gravitate towards on a daily basis. Like, I wouldn't use this for all of my makeup needs, which is what I like to use my Beauty Blender for. This sponge, however, I I am so obsessed with this. I would pay the $10 for the 2-pack just for this sponge. I love the way it made my makeup look. Blending under the eyes was so nice. It's so soft and gentle. It doesn't tug at your eyes at all. You can really kind of manipulate the sponge and get it exactly where you want it. I love this little sharp edge right here. It's perfect for applying powder. It's perfect, like I said, for getting around the nose. This is just amazing. I don't think they sell this individually, but like I said, I would pay the $10 for the duo just for this sponge because it's still a lot more affordable than the Beauty Blender. I do notice, however, that the sponge is kind of separating right here, so I don't know exactly how long something like this would last, but I'm definitely going to continue to use this sponge and keep you guys updated. If you are curious about trying out these EcoTools sponges, I highly recommend that you do. I mean, for $10, this is an amazing set. Even if you're just wanting to use one sponge, I am so blown away with this. I love it. It's so nice. Oh my god, I love the way that it made my makeup look. I love how convenient it is. I love how it can get around the nose, around the eyebrows. It's just perfect. It makes your skin look so airbrushed. Like I said earlier, I do feel like you get a little less coverage. I feel like this does absorb a little bit more product than my Beauty Blender or even the NYX sponge, but I feel like the way that this blends out the product, it makes it look so effortless and so like skin-like. It's insane. So I definitely want to try it with like thicker foundations. I'm really enjoying this so far. I will definitely keep you guys updated in our future hits and misses as I try it out a little bit more. So far from me, this gets 2 thumbs up. I give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's amazing. Definitely worth the $10 that it is. That is going to be it for this video today. If you are enjoying these Beauty Blender dupes, definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Also, if you want to see more of my Beauty Blender dupes that I've already done, I will link a playlist down below. I created a playlist for all my Beauty Blender dupes, so I'll have that listed down below or in a card right up here. So definitely check those out if you haven't seen them. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will be talking to you soon in my next one. Bye!
I give in to the lesser fight. My body aches to be satisfied.